Brandon, isn't it around this time of year that the playoff picture is supposed to get clearer and we're supposed to not have an idea of who the good teams are and who the bad teams are? Am I wrong about that?
You are right, except this year in not only the NFL, but I would argue in college football as well. It has been a crazy topsy turvy year, and we're going to get into all of it tonight. Of course, I'm Brandon Woods, the host of Brandon's World. That is Unger to the Max, Josh Unger, the host of the Sports Room Talk Show that you just heard. We were off last week for the Thanksgiving holiday. We hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. But, Josh, we have so much to talk about tonight, but I think we know where you want to begin.
Yes, because, like I said at the top, by this time of year, the AFC playoff picture should be getting clearer. Same with the NFC playoff picture, but both right now are about as clear as mud.
Yeah, and we're going to start off with what I witnessed on a horrible Black Friday afternoon for me. By about 6 o'clock Eastern on Black Friday, our good buddy Sean Fitzgerald, who also works at Voltage Live, literally called me to make sure to do a wellness check on me. Don't worry, Fitz, I'm fine. I'm doing the show tonight. It was obviously not pretty, and we were not on the air for that debacle of a 21-0 collapse against the Cowboys the Sunday before Thanksgiving. But I think you'll be surprised by my answer, Josh. And it's like, am I concerned about my Eagles? Yes, I'm concerned. Do I think they're going to have a 2023-esque collapse and not make the playoffs? No, I do not. But am I so upset that, oh my God, we're ruining this, and Kevin Patullo is such an idiot that Eagles fans are throwing eggs at his house in New Jersey? No, I'm not, because my takeaway is, we're coming off a Super Bowl. It's a good team. Most NFL teams don't go back to back. Well, we probably do have a chance to go back to back. It's not looking good, but I can't be upset about it because things happen. And sure, the last 2 weeks haven't gone this team's way. But then again, we weren't on the air, but my favorite big upset of the week this past week was Carolina over the Rams, and that's what happened. So, again, we could say the Eagles are in turmoil, but how good is everybody else around us?
You guys got punked on Black Friday by the Chicago
We
Bears.
did, and the weird thing about that game is, I know my defense almost gave up 300 yards rushing, but they also only gave up 10 points for 3 quarters. So how mad at them can I possibly be?
Do you know the last time we had a repeat NFC East champion?
It was 2004. It was my Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes. And with this recent skid that the Eagles have hit, guess who it's opened the door for? Dak Prescott.
The team that me and you thought combined was going to win 9 games this year. You 4, me 5, and they are already at 6. And we're going to talk about this game, I'm sure. They have a very interesting game Thursday night against the Detroit Lions. And to me, I'll just say this. The only way I see my Eagles potentially losing the division, they have to lose Monday night against the Chargers, and the Cowboys have to win Thursday against the Lions. If those two things both happen, which they could happen, I'm not saying they won't, but if they do happen, that is the only way to me the door gets cracked.
Yeah. By the way, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I'm not letting George Pickens hit free agency. I am signing him to a contract extension as soon as possible. Him and CeeDee Lamb together have been deadly. But getting back to this game, instead of talking about the Eagles, I want to give credit to the Chicago Bears because they have fully bought into what Ben Johnson has been selling. And I'll tell you what, yes, they should feature DJ Moore more in the passing game. I know you've expressed your opinion about that. But clearly, they've become a run-first team. They've adopted that Detroit style of a 2 running back system with DeAndre Swift and who's the other guy again?
But Monogamy, I forget to say his
Oh, Kyle Monungai. There it is.
guy. He's a 7th-round pick.
So, yes. And they were just able to run all up and down the field on you guys. I think.
Against, by the way, Moro Adormo, Jalen Carter, and Jordan Davis, who absolutely did not show up. And the tackling looked like they were playing for a certain team that wears an orange helmet, not a green helmet. So, yeah, that to me was disappointing. And I will get to the Bears, but I want to save them a little bit more because we're going to talk about them way more in the next few topics. So, listen, I don't know what's wrong with this Eagles team. I don't. It doesn't look as bad as 2023, at least in my opinion, on the surface, because it doesn't look like they completely quit. It just looks like the offense has no rhythm. And I think they need to go more up tempo, get in the more no huddle. I think they need to throw the ball more early in the game to Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith.
Wait,
Finally,
on
go
that
ahead.
note, I looked up the stats. AJ Brown had 10 plus receptions in that game, and then there was a huge drop off until you got to Devontae Smith, who I think had 5 receptions. I looked up the stats earlier.
And now it feels like they're overcompensating for AJ Brown. And the thing that I don't get about Batul, and I've said this really since week 1 of the year, it seems to me like he either knows what the defense is doing and he can really call. Look no further than that first half against Dallas. They went up and down the field, 3 straight possessions, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. And then it's like the defense adjusts and he has no idea how to adjust to that, which is my concern. Because there's times where, like that drive to AJ Brown at the start of the second half, where it went bang, 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 throw the ball to AJ Brown, touchdown, 5 plays. How hard is that? It should not be that hard to get these guys more involved in the game plan. That's what I don't understand. And they're not running Jalen Hurts for whatever reason, which I think is hurting Saquon Barkley, along with the injuries along the offensive line.
Yeah, and they asked this question a few times on the big sports talk shows, and in my opinion, the answer to that question is no. And of course, the question I'm alluding to is, do the Philadelphia Eagles have an identity? And like I just said, my answer, no, they do not.
I think that they just think at this point that it's going to be 2024 and they're going to find a way to fix it and everything's going to be fine. And clearly it's not. I thought the Bears game, way more than the Cowboys game, because you can say what you want. Dak Prescott's always had great numbers against the Eagles. I thought it was going to be a close game. It happens. The fact that they got pretty much blown out on their own field on a short week with that defense, especially the way they were playing against the Packers and Lions, that's the wake-up call.
Yeah. To go from giving up, what was it, 10 points to the Packers and 6 to the Lions?
It was 9. No, it was 7 to the Packers, 9 to the Lions.
Okay, so you gave up a combined 16 points. That's what it was. To go from that to what we saw on Black Friday in Philadelphia, might I add, against the Bears was kind of crazy.
Well, and again, it was 17-9 in the fourth quarter, despite all that, which is just crazy to me. I wanted to ask you real quick, what was your take on? So the Eagles are down 24-15. And Nick Sirianni obviously goes for 2. And I know you have probably seen the debate on the internet. Greg Olsen and the Manuel Ocho were going back and forth. Greg Olsen was even oddly sparring with fans over this. I personally don't like it. I don't get it. Even if they get the 2 to cut it to 7, I think going from 9 to 8. But the argument that all these analytical people are making is, well, if you don't get the 2 points when you're down 8, it doesn't matter anyways, and you want to know how many 2-point conversions you get. I guess teams are doing this all over the sport. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, teams have become a lot more aggressive, and at times it almost feels like they forget they have kickers. Look at the Detroit Lions, for example. What'd they go for? 4 or 5 times?
Well, that's the other thing. Dan Campbell has forgotten. He thinks Dan Campbell's playing like Madden. I mean, they used to be the best fourth down in the league. Now, again, is that a Ben Johnson thing? Was that what made Detroit special? Was Ben Johnson and all the trick plays and all the crazy things to work on fourth down, and now it's not working? Like, I don't know, man. This football season's weird.